What's up, true believers, and welcome to the penultimate place to get your Marvel news. That is a tongue twister right there that we started it out. Our MCU reviews and fireside chats on all things Marvel. This is episode 44 of the Marvel Mondays Initiative, and today's topic is episode 2 of Moon Knight. If you're listening on your favorite podcast service, please feel free to give us a good rating on that platform. It helps the algorithms and helps us grow our audience. If you're watching us on YouTube, please consider giving us a like and a sub. And don't forget to hit that bell to get notifications for all our new shows like the Penultimate Game Show, the Cross Media Show, and Anime Nation. If you're watching on Twitch and have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming, which means you have one free sub to give away to anyone. And we'd like it if you give it to us. But if you don't want to, that's quite all right. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Eric Ginn. I haven't been on the show in a while, and it's showing right now because I'm tripping up on all my words. Your friendly neighborhood host for the evening alongside me today is the master of cinema himself, Christian Macias. Christian, how are you?
Oh, I'm a little bit cold today. I woke up and I'm like, why is it so freezing in my house? Closed the window, looked outside, and there was snow. There's snow in Portland in the middle of April, so that's how today's going.
All right. That's wild. It's already in the 80s down here in the swamps. So yeah, I would like some cold weather in April. I would like a spring. We don't get spring here. It's either
Mm.
super hot or it's chilly. We have no real fall or spring. So
Somebody say you're
Welcome to
lucky.
climate change, buddy.
oh, it's been like
No.
that forever. What'd you say, Ruben?
I said somebody say you're lucky. You don't have to deal with allergies.
No, I'd rather deal with four seasons than
Spring,
hot
spring
all
is
the time.
nice,
Nah, I
and
hate
fall's
spring.
great.
Yeah.
I love fall. I hate spring.
Spring, I don't like that my birthday is in spring. I really don't like it. Ugh, either way. That
Yeah.
other voice you heard is Ruben Guerrero, of course, the director of the Penultimate Conquest. And he runs this whole thing. What's up, Ruben? How are you?
I'm good. How about you? We missed you
I'm
last
good.
week.
Thank you. Thank you. I miss you guys too. I saw that you did my question, but it kind of got
We actually
fucked
did.
up.
We actually did
So,
Mark M. Spector's question.
well, yes, like 3 seconds into it, the ruse is gone.
Ah,
It was me.
okay.
But I did like kind of mess up. I was
I
listening
did
to it
mess it
like
up. I did mess it up, but I did redo it, so it should.
it's okay. I listened to it. It was fun.
Okay.
All right. How are you? You doing good today?
Oh yeah. I'm just
How is New
tired.
York at this time of
It's
year?
actually New Jersey. Remember?
That's right, but
Yeah,
I
you
can still
moved.
New York.
I've been moved, Christian. Have you seen the new setup?
I'm just reminding Eric.
Okay.
Is that an Andrew Ryan hoodie?
Yeah,
This is
from our
actually
own.
our.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
from our
That's
store.
right. That is.
Yeah.
That's our store. Check it out.
For audio
Good
listeners, it
stuff.
says no gods or kings, only man. So it's on the.
And then you get some Kevin Levine writing. So,
Kevin
yeah.
Levine.
It's Ken.
Is it Kevin?
It's Ken.
Ken. Whoops. Kevin. What is
Allegedly.
time?
Allegedly.
I don't know what time is anymore. Just like that one Dennis Villeneuve, the director of Arrival, which I found out.
Mm.
What hurts more, do you think, for him, Ruben? The fact that he didn't get nominated for Best Director for Dune, or he did not win any Teen Choice Awards for movies? What do you
Teen
think
choice.
hurts more?
The
I
teen
would-
choice.
No,
Absolutely.
I would definitely say uh, the Oscar.
I'm just
fuck the
joking.
Oscars.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless
I
he's
would
like
just
really big into the Teen Choice Awards.
really big into the Teen Choice Awards. I was looking through it. I'm like, what did he actually get nominated for Best Director for? And I scrolled down. I'm like, he didn't even win a Teen Choice Award.
Could you
How can he say
imagine?
he's the best?
Could you imagine if he did make Dune just to win a Teen Choice Award?
Hey, you gotta respect the grind. Anyway, few housekeeping notes where we get into all the Marvel goodies. Tomorrow, Ruben, Ryan, and a lucky guest will be talking all about that blue hedgehog himself, Sonic, when they review Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Cross Media Show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you like the big blue ball of fur and Knuckles or Tails or Dr. Eggman, if you like any of
Spoilers.
those characters, come in and check it out. I hear Christian, I hear you not like that movie very much.
Where are you hearing this from? Where'd you get this information from?
I don't know.
I don't know,
Excuse
Christian, but it's looking like it's probably the best
Well, see, the thing is, I saw the tweet when you said this is your Morbius. As the only person on this show who has actually seen Morbius, I gotta tell you, Sonic can only go up from Morbius.
I don't know. When
The
I
the
sent
fact
that
that you said that is like a spit in the face to Sonic himself.
when
And
I
I
sent that tweet out, my idea was that
you
this
started
is like
shit.
because I'm not gonna watch Morbius. Like this is the worst movie that I've seen this year. Like like this is the worst movie of the video game movies.
This is insane because this is what's looking to be like the best video game movie we've ever gotten so far. As of as
It was
of
not. It was not even the fun kind of bad. You know what I mean? Like The Room. It was just bad.
I think we're gonna take it away from here. And remember, our conquest this week is happening at Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and it's gonna be just normal Halo night with the boys. Maybe play some free for all Slayer. Check it out this Wednesday.
we'll see.
This Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, we will be talking all about Crystal Dynamics on the Penultimate Game Show. They got a lot going on. Got a new Tomb Raider game. Apparently working on that Perfect Dark game with the Initiative.
Apparently
Uh,
they're like, you know, taking the lead. What looks like because everybody is quitting from the initiative.
we shall see. Again, tune in Thursday. Find out all about Crystal Dynamics. And as always, please feel free to leave your thoughts and questions on our SpeakPipe. www.speakpipe.com/penultimate conquest. So, housekeeping out the way. Let's get into some questions from Ruben as he has his
I
hand
just
raised.
want to say, can we strip the title of Master of Cinema from Christian? Like he just said, Sonic 2 was bad.
Well,
This man
have you
doesn't
seen
know what
Sonic 2 yet?
cinema is. Yeah, I
Have
saw
you
it
you saw Sonic
opening
2?
day.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just making sure.
And you had a
Yeah,
good time.
I had a great time.
That rocks.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
So
But anyway,
are we in agreement?
well, who knows? Maybe we'll have to listen to his review tomorrow.
You're gonna hate me today, by the way.
I'm
So
gonna hate you today. Why did you
Yeah,
say that?
you'll see why.
we'll see what's going on here.
Oh, no.
All right, time to get that Marvel news. Not a lot to go on this week. The Thor Love and Thunder trailer maybe soon.
Love and
Um,
trailer.
Love and trailer. Uh, the Hindi actor for Chris Hemsworth posted a picture saying he has done his work for the trailer, so probably expect it soon. Maybe.
Again,
Who knows? We've already reached the point of shortest time between trailer and movie. It's already broke the record. So we'll
Just
see how
don't
it
even
goes.
drop a trailer. You
Yeah.
know.
exactly.
Let the
Don't even
trailer
drop
be
a
the
trailer.
post-credit scene for the movie. Who
No,
knows?
nope, no. We're not doing that
That's
shit
a
anymore.
that's a
Eric,
Interesting.
we're not doing that
no,
shit
Yeah,
anymore.
they did that for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we didn't
no.
like it though.
I was joking saying put the Thor Love and Thunder trailer at the end of Thor Love and Thunder.
Ah, okay,
Oh,
okay, okay,
that's
okay. Yeah,
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 just a
yeah.
bad joke, huh?
Um,
No,
so other things, Sam Raimi weighed in on Doctor Strange versus Scarlet Witch with a fun quote. He said, if you look at it, Scarlet Witch has the power, obviously, but Doctor Strange has the knowledge. I thought that was fun. Maybe probably gonna be what the movie's like. Wanda's gonna have all this raw untapped power, but Stephen Strange, master of the mystic arts. We'll see.
it's interesting that they're not the same. They're not the same, but like he could have been like, "Hey, we can help you control your magic. Why, why not? You know?
Well, she's gone through a lot.
Yeah, all the more reason why you put out a lending hand. You know?
We'll see. And also, some new Doctor Strange posters dropped today, and they look like chaos magic is enveloping everybody.
Oh,
So interesting, right there. We'll see what's going on. I think they did confirm that this is not going to be the 2.5 hour movie it initially was. It's going to be like 2 hours and 8 minutes.
yeah, I believe
So
it's true.
probably this movie is probably gonna be like, let's go, let's move. So that could be
I kind
fun.
of appreciate that.
Yeah. No time for filler.
Yeah,
Let's just get moving.
I'm sorry.
And 2 hours is still like a
Charles.
hefty length, by the way.
Yeah. All right. So that is all the Marvel news. If you guys have anything new you want to add,
I did want to say that I think like I've said these past couple of weeks, I'm hoping that we get the Thor: Love and Thunder trailer a week before Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, just to like fucking get in with the hype, you know? Get the hype
Well,
machine
it will
going.
definitely be. I think it's definitely going to be before Doctor Strange because they're going to put that trailer before.
You said that, but you also thought it was going to be last month, and you were wrong.
Well, that's also pretty standard to think of. Trailer will come at least 4 months before
Yeah,
a
but
movie
this
came
is
out.
Marvel fucking Phase 4, man. We don't know what the
Like
fuck.
back in Phase 1 and Phase 2, they released trailers like 8 months before the movie came out.
Again, this is Marvel Phase 4. We don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Good. All right. If we got nothing else, all right, let's get into
Did you?
it.
Well, hold on. Did you mention the Morbius news?
Did I mention the Morbius news?
Yeah, we
The
talked about
bigger
beforehand.
broken record.
Oh yeah, it broke a record for second worst box office hold. I think it dropped like 75%.
I wish we could say we didn't want this to happen, but we all know
Well,
it's
here's
coming.
the thing. Morbius is not a big name like Venom is. So, all right, right now its budget budget was about 75 to 83 million, and its box office is 126.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Oh.
Also, I don't understand how people think that you can make a movie of a villain without the hero. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
They did that with Venom movies.
Dude.
Yeah, and look how bad those turned out, Eric.
They made so much money though.
Eric, you're not understanding. They had to hire the worst actor they could possibly find to make these movies subpar, Eric.
Either way,
Tom
all right.
Hardy himself.
It's now time to. Oh, what's up?
Quick clarification. It was 74%, not 75. So you're off by a percentage.
Okay.
Screw you, Eric. And second, the Variety headline is incredible. The auspicious season that considering dismal reviews and poor word of mouth, the auspicious season that some fans have deemed the summer of Morbius may no longer be within reach. So FND.
The
So
summer of Morbius.
So I
Yeah,
don't
bro.
think
We're in
I don't think we
spring.
can get a Morbius sequel, but I think you'll definitely show up in other Sony movies either way. All right, let's just get into it.
He's
We
gonna
didn't
show
have
up
our
in Craven.
Morbius review on this show, and I think it's about time we
He's gonna
change
show up
that.
in Craven.
Uh,
Hey, you know what's gonna
$1
happen?
movie.
I'm sorry. I have to continue this. You know what's gonna happen? He's gonna be at the end of the end credit scene, and he's like, "I'm pulling the team together."
So again, as the only person on this panel who's actually seen Morbius, I can confirm it's not great. It's not the worst comic book movie I've ever seen, but it's not that good. The post credits.
Oh, I saw them on TikTok. It is terrible.
I'm
I also
looking at
saw
them.
the dance number.
No.
The dance number.
No.
What was the
Matt
dance
Smith
number?
in like
Oh,
some
yep.
bathroom.
Yep, he was dancing and like he's like
Poor Matt
uh,
Smith, man. Why is he in this movie?
it's such a shame. Like he's like the best part of the movie,
But it's
and
okay. He's coming back for Mother of Dragons or something. House of
Game-
Dragons.
Go look in the
so-
general text chat of what I just dropped, Ruben, by the way.
Okay, hold on.
It's supposed to be the summer Morbius share.
No. First
So
off,
good.
how dare you? Okay, don't
It's so
ever do this to me.
And I will say again, Jared Leto was not, terrible in it. So
That's
the
just-
movie is decent before he gets his vampire powers. The movie is actually pretty decent once he gets his vampire powers. But anyway, go check out our review of Morbius on the Cross Media Show last week.
Turns
Check it
out Morbius and Edward Cullen have a lot in common. They're both into high school chicks. Anyway, go on.
Well, maybe not Morbius, but maybe.
Sorry, Jared Leto. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jared
I was
Leto.
about to say. But yeah, terrible post credits. We find out how it connects to everything. Ruben, and
No.
it's
It's
not
not the
good.
connection we wanted. Eric.
it's that was all you wanted. How does this movie?
I
tie
wanted a
into
connection that
everything?
makes
I want
sense.
to know.
I wanted a connection that made sense. Okay.
Like Michael Keaton just goes, "I hope the food tastes better at this joint," and I'm like, "Oh my god."
was really bad. It was really
It's
bad.
like, and then when he says, "I don't know how I got here," probably Spider-Man's fault. It's like, what?
How?
Better written
Either
than
way,
Sonic.
I mean, shut up. They could probably had TV in jail.
Jesse says probably Spider-Man. So I'm like,
So
okay.
I will
Either
give
way.
him that. They probably had TV in jail. They did
All
say
right, Ruben.
Spider-Man.
I'm just checking this thing. Like we gotta change it because now it says that we are reviewing Morbius on the Twitch alert.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. That's
We
definitely
are not
something we do
reviewing
not want.
Morbius.
No, no, no.
Either way, we're here to review Moon Knight episode 2. Um, I believe the episode was called like "Suit Up" or something. Get the suit. Either way. Let's just go around here real quick. What did you think of this episode, Ruben? I'm gonna start with you.
Okay. What? No, start with Christian. I'm reading this live notification.
Christian, I'll start with you. What did you think of this episode?
I didn't like it. I what I wanted out of episode 1, like I got a taste of it, and then they seemed to kind of both expound on the stuff that I didn't like, and then the stuff that I did like, which is like the conversation piece, like that was not enough for me. Like I wanted more conversation between Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac's characters, and we got like one great scene where they're like just walking through this like this, I don't know, what do you want to call it, this cult area that uh
The warehouse.
what's his name in the
Oh,
show?
yeah, it was
Arthur.
just he was walking through like a little city square area where
Yeah, but like
in
everyone in
London.
there
Yeah.
is like followers of
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke and stuff, and that conversation was great. To me, it was again all the action that just lost me when I'm seeing Mr. Knight and just fight like an invisible creature. That's like the shots are like just too long.
Mhm.
I wasn't feeling it. That said, like the sequence at the end where he jumps off and like you know the cinematography there with the moon behind him, that stuff is cool. Don't get me wrong, but just it seems like I'm not getting what I want out of the show, which is more drama, less action.
Mhm.
So we'll see how episodes 3 through 6 end up shaking out for me.
Gotcha. Ruben, what did you think?
I'm kind of in agreement with Christian. I just rewatched this afternoon, and while at first I liked it, the first viewing, I thought it was interesting. I did find a couple things wrong with it. With the second viewing, just like I get the feeling that they're kind of scared to talk about what's happening with Mark and Steven, like the clinical stuff aspect of it. They're beating around the bush, like either just say it or just stop talking about it, you know? But I did like the action towards the end when he turned into Mark, you know, or when Mark took over, I should say. Steven, I would have preferred the conversation with Arthur as not with Steven, but with Mark.
With Mark,
Yeah.
yes,
I
thousand
think,
percent.
yeah, just because Mark actually knows what the hell's going on and Steven has no idea whatsoever.
The thing is, Ruben, you're so right. And sorry, Eric, to just jump in like this. When I'm thinking about it, like episodes 1 through 6, it makes sense for Steven to still be like very hesitant to this whole world because we're only like a third of the way through. We're still in the first act, so that's where I'm thinking this is. But when you have like elongated acts, right, 2 hours of Steven just being willfully ignorant and like wanting out, it's a bit too much. And like at this point, I want more answers and more conversations that lead me to those answers.
Yes.
And Steven is just like, no, I don't want any part of this. And like when I'm in hour 2, I'm just like, okay, but I want in because I'm watching the show. Like I
Yeah.
want to know what's going on. And so
There was
I'm with you, Ruben.
for me there was too much resistance. Like the minute
Mhm.
that he saw what's her name pop up, his wife, Mark's wife pop up, he should have been like, all right, man, I'm gonna give you control because this is getting a little too out of hand for me. But that's neither here nor there. Eric, what did you think of this show?
So right now I think it's really interesting what they're doing because it's like a. So I just heard baby cry.
Oh,
Oh, we're good. Tessa's good. So it's like I talked about last week. While I like the fact there really hasn't been any MCU stuff whatsoever in the show, it's its own thing. The problem is you have this very, eccentric character in Moon Knight that not a lot of people know about, and so the 6 episodes is really tough because we have to get the plot moving, and so you don't have enough time to get this
Mm.
going because this is a very complicated character. And so I have never truly been a fan of the 6 episodes stuff that Disney does. I think it's great for some things, like no filler, like story, story, story. But we're moving so fast, you don't give any time to breathe. Like the Arthur Steven conversation at the table doesn't get that much time to breathe. Like it's
Mm.
like I say something and now we're in like fight mode. So I would have liked more of that. I agree with you. But in a way, it's it's really good at the mystery behind Moon Knight. I think is what it's doing, especially like the scene when Khonshu is like going everywhere in this warehouse building, and then Arthur is like, "What's he saying right now?" He's saying like, I am justice" or something. Did he just say that? And
Yeah.
so I like that, especially when it said, "I used to be the avatar of Khonshu." I'm like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's
that was
interesting."
great.
That adds a little more depth. Like, hey, I've done what you're doing before. I don't like it. I did like, we get a little bit of morality in here too, where it's like, what's better? Eradicating evil before it even has time to happen, or
Mm.
let people have their choices and then go about that.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
because I totally agree with Steven on that for all right. Like that's so clear to me. But then like adding the element of Arthur being like, well, I was the previous like
Avatar.
avatar, and maybe he's manipulating you, right, or manipulating Mark, and then that extra element of the spoilers at the end of the episode when he's like, he's conscious thinking that his next avatar should be Mark's wife, and like that complexity and like gray area with our hero, quote unquote, or this god figure. That stuff is like so intriguing to me.
Right.
Like that's the good stuff there that I like in the show.
Sorry,
I
my computer kind of went
No, it's
down
okay.
here.
You're good now.
Hmm.
I just feel like for new characters, Marvel needs to stick with the Netflix 13 episodes format. Just because it gives you more time to elaborate on the stuff that's happening with the character when we first start out. It gives us more time to figure out what the hell is happening with Mark and Steven. It gives us more of the Layla Mark dynamic, and it gives us more time for Arthur to show us like why is he doing what he's doing.
And I think what's interesting about this is I know Kevin Feige and them have said this is the origin story. Like this is how we get things moving. Moon Knight is going to be a big deal going forward, and so to kind of see all the pieces get into place, I'm interested to see where they go with this, especially they're now in Egypt.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that. And let's see, I looked at this. So the guys who directed this episode are known horror directors.
which I did
Um,
feel in
I
the
felt that
beginning.
only in the first half.
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
was getting chased by Khonshu, that's all I felt.
Hmm.
Like I very much enjoy that, and it's like I said when my comments like that. I like that Stephen Grant is the focus because he has no idea what's going on, just like the audience. We have no idea what's happening to him, and we're going along this ride with Stephen, and we're seeing all this extra outside stuff like, oh, this is confusing. Who is this guy talking to me? And just like Stephen, we want answers to
I
questions.
I agreed with you. I would have agreed with you last week. But
Mhm.
now, when I'm finding out so many mysteries
It's
about
kind
Mark,
of
now
annoying.
suddenly I don't care about Steven, especially when he's disengaging all the time. It's like, well, now if I just want to know about Mark now,
Yeah,
especially because like everything interesting is happening surrounding the world of Mark and not Steven anymore.
So it looks. I mean, at the end of the episode, it looks like Mark is in control now.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to get that. So yeah, it's just heartbreaking just watching Steven go through all this, and everyone is thinking he's Mark, especially like when Layla's in, and of course I get my favorite thing ever in most stuff where it's like I don't know what's going on. What do you mean you don't remember? Like no, I just said I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's harrowing, especially with, like when he gets the divorce papers and he's like I
I would
wouldn't.
never divorce you.
So yeah,
Oh, that stuff is like sweet, right? When he
Yeah,
starts reciting poetry and then she starts reciting too, it's like, oh, that's my favorite. Like, no, it's mine. Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff works for me.
like so I very much enjoyed that. Like you guys said, like the action was a little weird this time. I didn't like the fact again that our action is just the jackal again.
Mm.
Wasn't a fan of that.
I have to agree with Christian. I don't appreciate that these beings are invisible to the average
Mhm.
Joe.
Yeah, and like what's the deal behind that? So and then I have my first question here, like, did you like Mr. Knight, Ruben?
So obviously, I don't know much about Moon Knight. I have here a couple of notes. Let me see if I can find it. I think I was hoping that Mr. Knight was something other than Steven's version of Moon Knight.
Mm.
I
So
was
the
kind of.
interesting
Go ahead.
okay. So like the interesting about that is like when they tell him to suit up, suit up, suit up, Steven has no idea what they're talking about. So
Right.
this is what like, obviously this is like what Steven thinks suiting up would be, and I think that was interesting because he's never seen a suit before. He has no idea. For him, a suit, a nice three-piece suit
Mhm.
and everything. I thought that was cool. And especially like Mark, like, what are we wearing, dude?
This makes sense, right? Because that you're right. He has never seen it before. Every time he is in the suit, he's blacked out.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just would
Mm.
have hoped that Conchu would have like summoned it, like the actual Moon Knight suit. Does that
Okay.
make
Well,
sense?
yeah, I get what you're saying, but we don't know whether or not Khonshu can
Right,
really have
right,
any
right, right, right,
effect on
right.
this. Like, he's able to like do some wind and stuff and throw little temper tantrums. We
Yeah,
don't know what effect he has on the physical world.
right.
Um,
I guess I was hoping we're bringing it back. We keep mentioning the word Avatar. I was expecting the rest of the avatars that Conchu has had throughout the years to appear as Mr. Knight.
Mm.
Give him some
it's like,
guidance.
yeah, like in the comics, Mr. Knight is a version of Moon Knight. He went undercover with Secret
Right.
Avengers. He wanted to have like a cool, stylish suit. So this is what we got here. So I did like the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My name is Steven with a B. I was like,
Nope.
okay,
Nope.
Steven, have a little fun right there.
No, that was a
Ah,
horrible line.
I didn't like that either, Ruben. I'm with
I
you.
thought,
I didn't like Steven behind the suit as much.
Yeah,
good stuff.
The suiting up. Oh, go ahead.
I love when he rolled up his sleeves. I thought that
I
was
did
fun.
like that
Yeah,
though.
look.
I did like
Mhm.
that.
I will say like aesthetically too. By the way, like the way the showrunners made the Mister Knight suit look, it does look good. Because I was kind of worried that the CG suit wouldn't look as good, but like it looks pretty good when I'm watching it on TV, and I do actually enjoy the white eyes. Like it looks cool, both with the actual proper Moon Knight suit and the Mister Knight suit. Looks
I
good.
just feel like the mask could have been like a one piece instead of it being stitched in the middle. But that's just me being picky.
Well, it could be. I think it's Steven's kind of broken right now. He's split in two.
He's split in three.
Maybe this mends him together. And yeah, we don't know how many personalities we got going on in here. All we know right now is just it's Steven and Mark.
Yeah.
Usually there's up to four. Sometimes it's just a little girl who's one of the personalities. So that's
We have we all seen Split,
Oh
the
yeah.
movie by M Night Shyamalan? Could be
yes.
20 plus.
M Night, Moon Knight.
Oh, oh, Eric,
Oh.
you're onto something here.
Oh man.
But yeah, like I said, I did like, Oscar Isaac did a pretty good job, having the meek, frail little Steven. But once he like it's Mark Spector, confidence, especially was in the Moon Knight suit. I liked him running. That was a cool shot. And the moon shot was really cool too. Wish I had more. I want
Hmm.
more fighting with the moon. He's got a lot of skills, and all we've seen so far is him running, pick up a jackal, slam it down. That's about it.
And it was cool.
It
Yeah.
was cool.
It was
It was
cool.
very cool. Um, I
Mark's voice
did
in that suit sounded great.
I did like the shot of when Steven's the one in the mirror. I did like the shot of Mark kicking the mirror. I
Oh
thought that was
man.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, like a great moment too of showing out how like unhinged Mark could be because we don't really know. There's like brief instances where we like get a hint of like Mark's characterization, but like that moment where he just like breaks and starts breaking the mirror, it's like, oh yeah, this guy
It's
ain't so good
unhinged.
after all, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I did like we're just going to go around the episode now. Some things I did like. It was heartbreaking, when the museum's HR was
Yes.
talking to Mark, kind of like belittling him with his problem. Like, hey, we got a place you can go to where they can fix you and all that stuff. And I'm like, this is not cool. This man's going through a lot right now, and you're just, patronizing him. I
Right.
think I didn't like that.
My favorite thing about Steven is how much he unabashedly enjoys his job. And I'm thinking like particularly like how smart he is about history, Egyptian history, and how like enthusiastic he is about sharing it. And like the what makes him tragic for me in episode 1 is how his boss consistently like, no, you're not gonna get that job. You're on inventory. You're just a dude running the shop. And yet he still continues to work at the museum. And so to get episode 2 where he's forced to get like turn in his badge, and it's just his nameplate with Steven on it. It's so sad, dude.
So like it
I
could be
love
like
that.
it's part of his thing. He's got a lot going on right now with his own self, like giving up like his name. I don't know, maybe it's like giving up part of himself right here, which he has no control over right now, which was interesting. And it's just whenever he talks to the living statue guy, I always feel
Mm.
for Steven. It's tough. Like I said, that's why I think it was good to have Steven be the vehicle for the audience for the first 2 episodes, because he has no idea what's going on, neither do we. Let's go to what did you think of Ethan Hawke in this episode, Ruben? Arthur Harrow.
Ethan Hawke continues to like scare the shit out of me.
Hmm.
Like it was interesting to find out that he was the previous Avatar before Mark. We're assuming, but it's also like, how badly did Khonshu mess you up to make you turn to Amit, the one that practically kills people because of something that you could possibly do in the future?
Well, maybe it could be a thing of Arthur saw so much like evil and destruction, and he had to
Yeah.
wait until Khonshu said, "Hey, now go do it."
Okay.
Rather, like Amit will give him like, "Hey, we could wipe out all evil. We can make like this utopia that you want."
Mm.
But it also begs the question of how the hell did he get out of being Khonshu's avatar?
Guess we'll find out.
Hopefully,
Um,
Mark can find out.
I
uh,
need a little bit more there. What we got, I think, so far has been good. One of the most interesting shots of Arthur has been the very first minute of the show, which is of him putting breaking the glass and putting on the slippers. Give me more of that kind of like meditation on his psyche. That is going to really pique my interest onto like conversation with Steven was great, but give me just a little bit more to push that further.
when he's not in front of his followers, what's he like?
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
I also wrote down here like at the end of this episode, we see somebody pick up the scarab, and he's like, "That's mine. I can offer you shelter and food, but that is for me." Like, and then he decides to kill the guy. If it's all about morality with you, why would this guy just picked up the fucking scarab? That he didn't do anything wrong. You didn't know that he's done anything wrong. Like he didn't use the cane to figure
Well,
out.
it kind of backed away there. Like we didn't get that shot. We just get the shot of like
But
the
that's what I'm
far side
saying.
of like he's dead. So
But he didn't have. I don't think I saw the cane with him.
I was assuming he judged, Ahmed judged him,
Okay.
but you could be right. You could because you're right. I don't think I saw him do like place the cane at all. You're right. Hmm.
Yeah. So
Curious, curious.
maybe that's just a cover for Amit to just take souls.
I did like the Steven, like, yeah, you're gonna listen to the crocodile lady. Yeah, that's real fun. I did like the fact, everyone's. I know you guys mentioned it last week when I was listening. Like, it's interesting that everyone's involved in this. The police are part of this, which I thought was interesting as well. Like, what's going on here? How does Arthur get all these people? Although I put here in the notes, Ethan Hawke shines in every scene he's in. Apparently, Simu Liu did not like the Mandarin he spoke.
Did not like. I'm sorry. What the
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 Mandarin?
Mandarin that he
Mandarin,
spoke.
the Mandarin that Arthur used in that one
Oh,
scene. It's like didn't like it. He needs to fire his Mandarin teacher.
I
Well, I mean,
respect that.
yeah.
Just a fun little thing.
Hmm.
So now that the plot is kind of coming together, we know what Amit actually like, what Arthur wants to do. Where do we think we're going here? Especially the fact that now we're in Egypt. How long are we going to be here? We're going to be here for the rest of the show. Ruben, what do you think? Where are we going to go from here? What would you like to see happen?
I'm still debating on whether or not who to believe, Mark or Arthur. Like, you build up. For me, like I had said before, that the only horror part of this episode was, Stephen being chased by Conchu, and then they just lead up to that with Conchu just blowing air and throwing a temper tantrum, so to speak. So it's kind of like what are we getting? Are we getting the scary god? Are we getting the one that's throwing a temper tantrum just because he doesn't get his way? Like, what's happening here? I have no idea where this show is going to go. I have here, do we expect to see more Egyptian gods popping up in the future of Moon Knight?
That would be cool.
What are the typical villains like in Moon Knight comics, Eric? Do you know? Are we usually getting like more Egyptian kind of gods and stuff?
Yeah, it's gonna be more like that. Well, we'll see really how it goes. I don't know what they do. Like I said, they have, like I said, we only have two personalities here. Most of the personalities usually have like four usually. And so yeah, Moon Knight fights obviously like all the supernatural stuff.
Okay.
So we'll see where it goes from here.
I was just going to say that Christian and I spoke a little bit about this last week. Eric, this is for you. Do we like the MCU diving deeper into Egyptian lore?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. It's hard with the 6 episode stuff. You can't really spend a lot of time on it.
Right.
And I do like the fact that, excuse me, I do like, let me see, you get the right name here. The directors are Egyptian. I
Okay.
think that's really good. I think that's really important for this. Especially like the showrunner for Miss Marvel, Pakistani. Like I think that's the most important part of here, how they do this right. Is that you actually get the representation for that. So I think like it honestly has felt authentic with their talking Egyptian history. So especially since we're going to Egypt now, I would like to see what they do. And so Mohammed Dieb, I believe that's his name. He directed the first episode. He's directing the next episode and episode 5 and 6.
It's very
So
cool to see Egypt when like the curtain came by and there was not the orange filter that we
Yeah.
usually see in
They're usually
Hollywood
good.
for any kind. Yeah.
I did like the where are we going? Where the hell do you think?
See,
I did like with
for some reason, I thought they were going back in time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did like that from Conchu. It's like where the hell do you think we're going?
What's going to
So
be
he
interesting? Uh huh.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. What's going to be interesting for me is usually with kind of a lot of the Disney shows, what I've kind of noticed is the villains usually are closer to the truth of whatever mystery is going on. It's just colored in, by their own beliefs, and via the hero challenging them, we get to the actual truth, which is close to the villain's truth, but like obviously more a bit objective. So I'm very curious to see what kind of truth Steven uncovers about Khonshu, how he takes over these avatars. I think there's totally going to be like a flashback to like a younger Arthur at some point.
I hope
I feel like
so.
that might be happening.
And I
I
think
would
we're gonna
also,
get flashbacks to younger like Mark, how he became
yeah, I would
what
love
happened
to
here.
see the story that Mark just keeps saying, like, hey, if it wasn't for Conchu, we'd be dead. So, like, I kind of,
The Yeah.
yeah, I just want that scene to happen, even if it's a flashback, obviously.
And
There
like
was like
what
a bit, real quick. There's the bit of information too that we got of Mark, like when he found the scarab, but then like everyone else like dies at that excavation site,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like there's something. There's probably going to be a flashback there as well because nothing is ever as it seems, right? Like, well, let's find out what actually happened. Yeah.
Right.
So
and it's weird to it'd be interesting to see is like this one of those things where it's like it's at the brink of death that Khonshu comes to you. Maybe that's what happened. Like, and maybe Mark knows what it takes for Khonshu to get his avatars, and he doesn't want that for Layla. I think that's interesting.
what did
Um,
you think of Layla in this episode?
it's difficult because it's like how she's playing it. they have this history. She's playing off of this history with Mark, with and Steven knows nothing about this, so he has a genuine, earnest curiosity to everything she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think need a little more from her, especially if she's like been a partner with Mark this whole time. Maybe she was also at the dig site. Um, Maybe she saw what happened to him. Who knows? But like it just goes back to the 6 episode structure because like WandaVision was perfect. We had like the first 2-3 episodes. We get the groundwork laying down. Hey, this is weird. This is what is happening here. And then by end of episode 3 we get the, oh, Wanda's controlling all of this. Okay. And so I kind of would like them to do that with the Disney Plus shows going forward. Give them more episodes. I don't know if this is a thing where like, okay, let's release it here in 6 episodes, we'll be ready for Doctor Strange. I don't want stuff like that. Like give
Mm.
it's like give these stories like time to like kind of exist on their own, because that's what happened. That's what we got with WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like they existed, like there was nothing else going on, and they took up so much of the just the conversation, like the conversations with WandaVision, those whole 9 weeks. Like that was probably some of the most important conversations on the internet from a pop culture standpoint. Then you got Falcon and Winter Soldier, most important conversations we have on the internet from a pop culture standpoint. And then when Loki comes out, Loki's there. Oh, hey, Black Widow's coming right here. And so it like, what do we
Yeah.
focus on more? And then, so I kind of want that with these shows. Like, release them to where they can be like their own selves and it kind of exist. So it's just, like I said, we're 33% through this show. We don't really have any idea what's going on. And that's tough. I did
And
see here. Oh, go ahead.
no, well, let's move on. Yeah, you covered mostly what I got to say. So I'll say
Um,
I agree.
so right here, I saw that Ethan Hawke, to get inspiration for Arthur Harrow, he used David Koresh, uh, Carl Jung, sorry, Jung, Fidel Castro, Dalai Lama, and an interesting one here, Pentecostal televangelist Jimmy Swaggart. You know what's interesting about that,
It's
Ruben? I pass by that dude's church so many times a week. That dude's like, his like base of operations is in Baton Rouge,
really.
and that dude is filled with a lot of scandals.
Oh
So
boy,
if he's using him as a basis for Arthur, whew,
That's it.
I
saying a
believe.
I
lot.
immediately went to like Jim Jones. That's who I went to. Yeah.
So let's see, but yeah, it's really tough. I think the base they got here, because you're right, Ruben. Also, you mentioned earlier, we haven't really gone into Stephen and Mark's DID yet.
Yeah,
We haven't really gone into that. Maybe with some more in these next few episodes, we'll get more and more into that, because that's one of the most important parts of Moon Knight. And I feel as though that kind of like it's being sacrificed for the sake of the
Yeah.
story. So I would like that to
yeah.
be center stage. Maybe next episode, center stage.
Let's hope. I have a question here. I wrote down, who do we think is the core personality and who's the alter? It,
Ooh.
from what it's sounding like, it's sounding like it's Mark is the core and Steven's the alter, but it's difficult because we also hear Steven say, like, you've ruined my entire life. So we don't really know how long his life is. I don't know. I'm very confused. We get the whole history with
Mm.
Layla, the fact that that he's married and she knows about his mom is something that makes me think that Mark is the core personality. But again, like I said, Steven, I don't know. I don't know. What do we think?
So obviously, I am not an expert on DID. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to say that right now, but from what I have read, it's usually linked to a lot of trauma, PTSD. Maybe the thing that happened in Egypt is what caused him to split
Okay.
a little bit. Maybe that's when Steven came in, like after Khonshu stuff happened. Like something terrible
Hmm.
happened to Mark, or maybe his childhood stuff with Mark. I do think Mark is the dominant one because usually in every Moon Knight stuff, Mark is the dominant personality.
Right.
Um, so I think you're right
What
there.
what an interesting question to think about. Because up
Thank
until
you,
this point,
Christian.
I don't think I really gave it much thought. Like as far as I was concerned, like both
We're the
are
core.
right in their own way. Like they are both their core. They are both independent. Because that's just the way I was reading both those personalities. But
Right.
yeah, if I'm understanding correctly, there is ultimately, with a disorder like one core
Yeah.
identity that then splits off into others. Yeah. Oh, that gives me a lot to think about.
Good. I'm glad.
So I did check IMDb, and there are going to be some more Egyptian gods
Sweet.
and goddesses. So I think that'll be interesting.
And goddesses. Oh, cool.
Cool. I also wrote down here: does the next candidate get a choice in being Khonshu's avatar? Which Eric, you kind of touched upon before, but like the way that they're setting up, like, oh, Layla is going to be my next avatar. The way that Khonshu makes it sound like
They
Layla is
don't
going
have
to.
choices.
They don't have choices, but at the same time, maybe it's like I think Christian had said that there's got to be like a life or death situation, like the only way you'll live is if you decide to become the avatar.
Mhm.
So it makes it sound like Layla's gonna something's gonna happen to Layla where she just eventually in the future turns into the avatar when
I
she
think,
learns firebending.
yeah, I think with this one, I think there's just a lot of questions here. And I
Yeah.
think that's what keeps it interesting every week. There's so many questions that we have. It's not, a straightforward thing like Hawkeye and Falcon Winter Soldier was. It's kind of like Loki. What is going to happen? What's going on
Hmm.
here?
Yeah.
That is what drives probably more, I would say, than this narrative right now. Probably narrative sounds pretty standard. Guy wants to, eradicate all these people. Hero sips and saves the day. But I think I'm with you guys here. I would like Mark to kind of be the focus, maybe for the next episode or two. Maybe the kicking of the mirror was, um, and like Steven's gone away now for a bit. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what that
Yeah.
represented.
It was kind of
Um,
heartbreaking the way he was describing it. Like,
yeah, I don't like this.
yeah.
So, um, so any other thoughts?
Yeah. Just to wrap it up, I think I agreed with everything you guys were saying. I think I've decided that what Eric just said just a few seconds ago, that the questions themselves that the show is asking, I think are my favorite part of Moon Knight so far. All these kinds of mysteries that we're trying to solve together with Steven in our own heads. That stuff is fascinating. I think for me, it's just all the elements that make up the asking of those questions feels very much like a half step of TV, movie making, whatever, media content making, where like nothing seems like it's all in everywhere. Like the fight scenes aren't my favorite, nor is the drama my favorite because it feels like we're sacrificing everything just to fit the constraints of a 50-minute TV show over the course of only 6 episodes. That everything just kind of suffers in between. That I'm just left being like, okay, well, sure, we'll keep watching, but I wish this was a bit better.
I also do want to say that I'm not taking anything away from Oscar Isaac's acting. Like, I think he's doing phenomenally. It's just the things that they're making the characters do, like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My name is Steven with a V. It could have been taken out, Steven being so resistant against giving Mark the control. It could have been a little less, Like I said, as soon as Layla entered the picture, he should have let Mark take over.
No, I'm saying this to you, like Ruben. If you were in that situation and a voice in your head was telling you, "Hey, give me control," would you not be a little trepidatious about it?
Yeah, but at the
Scary.
same time, this person that it sounds like it's important to the voice. She's saying that we have a life together. So obviously, I'm going to let the person who knows what's happening in this situation to take over. You know?
I do like another thing here. I like when especially when Mark was trying to talk to Steven, like, don't do that. I kind of like how his voice was the most prominent in the scene.
Yeah.
Like, that's all we hear right now, like, from Steven's voice. Don't do that. Like, he's trying to deal with all this, and this pounding voice in his head is telling him, don't do that. I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting. But you know what I didn't like, Ruben?
What's that?
The freeze frame shot we had in this
Oh,
episode.
it was so bad.
I thought that
I thought
was
my TV
weird.
was. I thought my TV got like
I
started
thought it
stuttering.
was
When was the freeze
strange.
frame? I don't remember the freeze frame.
The
He
freeze frame
was,
where he was getting scared by Khonshu.
and he's running away. He's running away from Khonshu, and then like stops, and then it cuts to him running outside the building.
Yeah, like he's screaming when Khonshu. I forgot what Khonshu
Yeah.
tells him, but like we get the picture of Khonshu turning around and looking at Steven. At again, he says something, I don't know what it is. Maybe
I don't remember this.
go look at it. It's like at the 13-minute mark.
It's right after the storage locker.
Yeah,
It's like when he leaves the storage
that
locker.
chase scene where we were talking about.
So, but yeah, I think that I do think though, even though we're talking bad about the format for the Disney Plus shows, I think a Disney Plus show for Moon Knight is the best start.
Yeah,
Like get people used to the character because he's a very important character. I think if you want to have him in the MCU for a long time, you got to let people understand where he's coming from. And I think just going straight to a feature film would have been very confusing for audiences.
yeah, definitely.
So this way, catch in week to week, and see
I
what's
don't
going on.
know. I don't know. Like if it was like a 2 hour, 20-minute, like kind of moody, like almost like the Batman, just not as long. If it was something like that, I think it would have been just fine.
You're right.
And if we are going to stick to TV format, like you said earlier, like the Netflix route of extending it to 10 or even
episodes.
13. I think that was Ruben actually who said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, would have been great. Yeah.
I think for, like I said before, new characters, especially characters that are as convoluted as Moon Knight, you need to give it 50-minute episodes, 13 episodes each season if you're doing more than one season. Because the only thing I can like compare it to is the Daredevil. Like Daredevil season 1 was perfect in the sense of the storytelling, Christian.
No, you're right. No, you're right, Ruben. Daredevil season 1 is perfect.
Okay.
No other Netflix season of the Marvel shows came even close to Daredevil season 1.
Daredevil season 3.
Daredevil season 3, yeah, I would have to. Well, Daredevil season 2 is even.
Oh yeah, the freeze from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was such a small moment. I just totally forgot about it. Yeah.
So I just think Netflix, sorry, Disney, just give it 13 episodes. Like, just make the budget bigger. Okay.
What's up, Christian?
Let it have consistent tone. I think is for me. Like for me, like,
Yeah.
There's a bit too much levity in this for me. Like let this be like a moodier kind of medium that, as far as I understand from Moon Knight, like it usually is. Like let it be this. Like Eternals is very much unwaveringly like meditative about its themes. Like let this be the same thing.
And maybe, we're still fairly new in this TV thing. We're about a year and 3 months into Disney Plus Marvel shows. Maybe, hopefully, they'll realize, like, hey, people don't really like our 6-episode structure. Let's move it up to, maybe 10 episodes. Something like that.
We're new into this Disney Plus TV shows, but again, we have the experience of the Marvel shows. Like, I know it's not the same company, but it kind of is. You have absorbed those people into this company.
But then it also depends on the show, because if you look at 13 episodes in Luke Cage season 1 was a drag.
But again,
like that first half was so good, that second half was so bad.
Like, you're absolutely right.
That's why HBO rocks. No more than 10.
You have the convoluted character that is Moon Knight, the two identities that you have to give information on. You have to also include the Egyptian gods that we already have 2 gods in the first 2 episodes.
And like I said, Moon Knight's going to be around for a while, so this is just get everyone's toes in the water, I think.
Let's hope.
But Let's
Not to
hope
mention
so.
that Blade is supposed to show up at some point.
Oh my God, I can't wait for that.
I don't want it
Oh
anymore.
my god.
I don't want it
Yeah,
anymore. It
I
would
don't
take
want
too
it.
much away
I
from
don't
what
want
Moon
it at
Knight is
all.
trying to do.
Give me my Midnight Suns, Marvel. Just do it.
No, I
Bring,
think
call
especially after
Norman Reedus up.
no.
Hey, we want you to play Ghost Rider. Do it.
And he just
Let's
shows
go.
up as Daryl.
Oh god, that'd
Could
be
you
sick, wouldn't
imagine
it?
he just shows up as Daryl, like dressed in Daryl's stuff?
Either way. All right.
That's just terrible.
Sounds like we're on the general consensus that this is very much a flawed show so far, with some pretty good highlights, some things. Hopefully
I don't know.
they
I'm
can
still on the edge. Again, it's
hopefully
not.
they can improve. Yeah.
Yeah, Oscar
And
Isaac did
also,
great.
and it's interesting coming from someone, I like our two takes right here, as someone who's not very knowledgeable with Moon Knight, Ruben, how you view the show, whereas me, like, I've known Moon Knight for a while, so it's like, I think this is pretty cool what they're doing.
I just want
The fact that
more.
we even have a fucking Moon Knight show, I'm telling you, when I
That's
was
true,
watching
right?
that first episode, I was like, I told Tessa, I'm like, I never thought I'd get a fucking Moon Knight show. Like, this is incredible. So, I would like to know, like, general consensus. I haven't really looked on Twitter and all this stuff because I've, muted all Moon Knight stuff
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter because I can't watch it day one. Like, people who don't know Moon Knight that much, how they view the show. People who do know Moon Knight that much, how they view the show as well. So it'd be interesting. I like how that's our takes pretty much going on right here. Like I'm a little bit more, hey, they're doing pretty good with it versus, and like both sides are valid. So
I just
what's
want
up,
more
Ruben?
exposition. That's all I want.
And it's tough. It's tough. We got to get the ball moving
Yeah.
with the plot. So maybe the exposition is coming in because we're going to the we're going to
Egypt,
the
yeah.
we're going to Egypt. So here we go.
We have a question. Well, we have somebody here in the chat. Dark Sage 9117 says he has a question. Well, they have a question for us for this panel about the recent Marvel shows and the MCU. So I'm waiting for them to let us know what it is. But
Hey, what's up?
are you excited for episode 3,
Me? Yes.
Christian?
No, but I'll watch.
Okay. Where's this the hype levels? Like, is this getting close to Loki? I know you weren't really too high on Loki. Do you expect this to go higher or lower?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Just because
Hype levels? What do you
Meaning, like-
define that? Define it for me.
you said from the get go that you didn't like Loki.
Yeah.
So is this looking like it's getting ranked above Loki so far?
Probably below.
Okay.
I think Loki was doing its interesting things better in those first few episodes than Moon Knight has been. I don't want to judge the show yet.
Okay, that's fair.
You know?
Okay. All right.
I will say that with What If, with Hawkeye's finale and with Moon Knight, like back to back,
Mm-hmm.
I no longer look forward to any of the Marvel TV shows.
Oof.
Like I think they've had their great moments in each of the shows, but none of them have stood aside from WandaVision. I think WandaVision still holds up the best. None of them have held up on their own strongly the way the tentpole movies have been. So now, like when I see a new show gets announced or it's coming up, I just don't look forward to it. To be honest,
Okay.
because I don't have faith in the shows so far. I desperately want them to change my mind though.
Okay. So Dark Sage has given us the question. It starts off with a little exposition. I grew up a comic book reader, so going into the MCU, I wanted to see the characters I knew and loved portrayed how they were the way I remember. I noticed with the MCU and the shows, there seems to be a divide between their purist fans like me and more casual fans as to how the heroes should be portrayed. My question is, as someone who grew up reading about characters we know, should Marvel try to give everyone what they want? I am not a fan of how they have done the MCU because it is not what I remember, but I also understand how fans today may not understand those stories for the older generation.
That is a tough question because you never want to be too close to the original that you're not doing anything interesting, especially when you're doing more adaptations like years down the line.
Right.
And you also don't want to be appeasing multiple fans at the same time because that just leads to like less visionary projects.
Mm-hmm.
and that's very tough. Like so far with like the MCU stuff, when they do their own adaptations, so far it's like I think Civil War, for example, like that is drastically different to the comics, right? And I think a
Right.
lot of people like were kind of upset that it wasn't like this kind of like weighty, kind of darker story. Like they're when they were fighting, I never felt the tension of them like, oh, no one is gonna die in this fight that's happening right now. And yet, like those questions that Captain America and Iron Man were asking about like government control were engaging enough and different enough that I was like, I actually liked that the MCU is doing this and is not wavering in this, and this is making me like very interested in those kinds of adaptations. Eric, I mean, you probably are the closest comic book reader, right? How do you feel?
I think that you have to draw a fine line. You're right. You don't want to be too fan servicey, and you don't want to be too confusing. Otherwise, new people ain't gonna come spend money on tickets.
Yeah.
So I think what you have to do is, I think Civil War is a great example. One, it's not the Civil War comic that we're used to, but the main thing about it is the divide between these heroes, and I think that's what they get right. They get the big divide, and it's like we talked about in Infinity War. If we didn't have that big divide between Tony and Stark, these two ideologies, they would have been united against Thanos,
Hmm.
and maybe we would have stood a better shot. But no, because we had that big morality problem in Civil War, that affected everybody, and I think
Right.
that's what's more important. Like you have to get the characters right, and Marvel has done an exceptional job at the characters. Like they don't have to be copy paste from the comics. But I tell you what, Spider-Man in No Way Home, he acts like Spider-Man. Like those are very Peter Parker things that he does in No Way Home, and I think that's what's important, getting the essence of the character. I think
Good
that
point.
some people were upset. I did read some articles. Some people were upset how Mr. Knight was used in this
Hmm.
because kind of a bumbling idiot, but it fit with Steven because Steven doesn't know about all this stuff. This is what he thinks the suit is, and it's a nice homage. Hey, look, that's Mr. Knight. Okay, cool. But this is Steven's Moon Knight, and with what's been going on with Steven, that makes sense. That works. So I think you just need to do your best to realize if we were writers, it could be different, but the writers want to tell the story they want to tell. And I think that's the most important thing. Let the writers tell the right story. Not I'm not saying that what you're feeling is it dark sage?
Yeah, Dark Sage.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't want to see your favorite stuff from the comics and the movies. I would like it. Look, they fucking gave us the Thanos copter and Loki. That was a fun homage to the comics right there. I thought that was fun. But what I don't want to see is just, oh, they're not doing this right. Um, you know, freaking Mr. Fantastic is not in the Civil War story, so this isn't good. But I'll tell you, Civil War still stands up as one of the best MCU movies because they get the essence of the characters right, and that's the most important thing. Because these are the most beloved characters in all of comic books, really, the Marvel characters. They're so relatable, and I think they've done a fine job. Some hits, some misses, but um, I think we should just enjoy the fact that we're getting these stories told.
So it's
Enjoy.
interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish up.
Just, I am not gonna like, even though I'm having some problems with Moon Knight, I am not gonna. That doesn't take away from the fact that I am so freaking excited. We're finally getting Moon Knight on a small screen at this time, but I'm just gonna enjoy it. Like it's fun. At the end of the day, they're just movies, they're just TV shows, and they entertain the hell out of me. So that's just my point of view. So, Ruben,
For me, it's interesting. You touched on a really good point there. They're capturing the essence of the characters. Most of these characters that we're seeing in the MCU were created more than 30 years ago. So it's kind of difficult for them to let's stick with the Civil War stuff. It's difficult for them to do the same storyline in the MCU because it really wouldn't make any sense. We don't really. Everybody knows who Captain America is. Everybody knows who Tony Stark is. So it's hard for them to really do those storylines that are very dramatic and very poignant to the characters in the movie in the comics. But like I said, they capture the essence of the character, which helps. Darkseid also says, for example, I was fine with what they did in Infinity War. I did not see Thanos kill people to impress Lady Death. But an example I will give is Galactus. When Marvel gets there, I want them to show us Galactus as he was in the comics, unless they have a very good reason to take liberties with him.
That's a good point. I hope he's not just the cloud.
I'm about to say, I hope he's not a freaking cloud in the sky.
Again, Darkseid, I was kind of hoping at the end of either Endgame or Infinity War, we see Thanos going up to this thing in the sky, or like just going up and saying, "Master, I failed you," and just Galactus turning around and he's like, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
Oh, we didn't need that. We did
No,
not
we didn't
all-
need that. No, I was just
That's all
joking.
the
I was just
villains are
joking.
gonna say. Fine, I'll do it myself. That's the big thing. That's the passing of the torch right
Yeah,
there.
that's it. That's it. No, but I did think that I honestly thought that at the end of Infinity War, we were going to see Thanos going up to Galactus and saying something along the lines of, "All right, I did my part. Now it's your turn."
Living Tribunal's way in the back, like, come on, tag me in, I'm ready.
No, just because like he is the planet eater, is he not?
Yeah,
Yeah. So like
I definitely
I
think
took
Galactus
out
would be
half of
most
the
well-comic,
population for you. Go fucking do what you got to do, bro. You know.
No.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the most
Christian,
important
you didn't
part, I
like
think, is
Sonic,
the writer's
so,
story.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's the important part here.
Yeah.
If you want to see the stories you want told, write a script.
Oh, write a script.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just we can only do with what we're.
Okay, I'm gonna be
That's
on
right.
it. I'm gonna
mean-
tell them to remake Infinity War.
Okay.
No. There's some things that don't need to be.
Well,
This
you just
is
told me to
just-
write a script.
I'm just saying. It's just
No, I get what you're saying.
we've seen what good writers in the MCU do, and we've seen what bad writers in the MCU do. So, we'll see.
writers
All you can do is just stay along for the ride. See if you like it or not. You don't have to like everything. I don't like everything in the MCU, and it's one of my favorite things ever invented. But
We do have Hulk at the bottom, don't we?
Hulk is pretty bad.
Well, Hulk wasn't really a part of the MCU, so
It is. Tony Stark shows up at the end, but
yeah,
I
but
digress. All right.
I hope that answers your question, Darkseid. Yeah.
We've mentioned Incredible Hulk too many times already on the show. It's time to wrap up. So, all right, it's time for plugs. What you got?
You can find me here on the Penultimate Conquest mostly every show. It's been a little hectic for me because I'm still trying to figure out a work-life balance. So I haven't been on every show, and we also have been skipping shows. That's partly my fault. I'm trying to stick with the scheduling, and life is just throwing me curveballs. My car broke down from Friday. I paid $1,100 to fix it. I was very upset this weekend. Very upset.
That's terrible.
Yeah. But, I'm also thinking of adopting a puppy. So that could be good.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you gonna get?
It's the dog I'm looking at is a Labrador Retriever and Terrier mix. And it's just the cutest thing in the fucking world. But anyway, Christian, where can people find you?
Yes, you can follow me over on Twitter at IsoChristian to keep up with all the things that I'm doing, like my movie podcast, bi-weekly movie show. This month is Little Miss Sunshine for our movie club. I also do a weekly gaming show over at Podcast PXN every Wednesday. All the stuff that I do for this channel, I told the guys, my newest video essay, quite possibly the best intro I've written for one of these videos, so very excited to see how that's shaping up. And then started freelancing, of course, for Tech Raptor, and the kind of big project that I was working on is finally up. I helped with an interview with Ed McMillan, of Super Meat Boy and Binding of Isaac fame. So that was very cool
Whoa.
to be part of that.
Nice. All right. You can find me, Eric C. Ginn, on Twitter. I am done with my Horizon review. It is written. It's in. I'm having Tessa proofread it right now. But
Like right now?
no, not right now. Right now, she's
She reads it to
proofreading
Ruby.
maybe. Yeah, Ruby's just gonna take a pacifier out. The the transition from paragraph 2 to paragraph 3 sucks.
Again,
Tell
that's
Dad to rewrite it.
I like the way you reinforce your thesis here,
Yeah.
Dad.
So yeah, with me and
Daddy.
because I was going into this, I'm like, oh, I haven't done written a review so long. I mean, I wrote the Miles Morales review for the site, but like before that, I only done really once. This is like really my third ever. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, and at the end of the day, I'm just going to be myself and say what I like, and say what I don't like.
just make
Because
sure it's
at the end of the day, Ruben, I have already created the greatest thing ever on this earth. Nothing is going to top it.
Our friendship.
Yes. So why even try?
nice.
Not just be myself. That's what I like and don't like.
Well,
But,
sir, just make sure that it hits the 10,000 word mark, and we're
My God.
Oh, did you want that? Honestly, let me see actually how many words I do have in it. I'm looking. Let me get it right now. Hold
I
on.
was kidding. Don't
my
hit
guess.
10,000.
My guess is, no more than 1750.
I was gonna
I'd
say
say
about
1200 to 1750
What's
I
the
did-
IGN like limit? Not limit, but like
limit.
I did
when they
2,097
when they
words.
have freelancers do stuff. Do you know what the?
Oh, 21. Depends on the game, the size of the game.
Well, they had just put out that tweet recently where they were saying stuff. needs
That's
to
for
be-
news aggregate. That's like less than 1,000 words.
Okay,
Probably like
alright.
500.
Okay.
Yeah.
A review's
Like I
gonna be like 2,000 to 3,000 upwards to
Um,
4,000.
I'm no professional writer, but I just went with what I liked and didn't write. And it's 2,000 plus.
Oh, all
I
right.
I
There we
respect
go.
that, yeah.
I respect it a lot.
We'll get that
And
in
when you hit-
when I can, when I'm done
When
with
you
it fully.
get hired by IGN or Kotaku or these big gaming websites, you make sure that you put in a good word for me. All right.
Will do.
All right.
And I'm about 26 hours in Elden Ring right now, so that's also what I've been doing. So that's fun.
You know what I've been doing this week?
Hmm.
I brought this out. I've just been playing fucking Pokemon Yellow. You know? Going back to my roots.
All right. Anyway, that's our review of Moon Knight episode 2. Tune in for next week. We're going to talk about Moon Knight episode 3 and maybe a Thor trailer. Until then,
But wait.
everyone. What?
We're also having a special guest on next week.
Oh, who do we have next week,
We're
Ruben?
having Aaron on. Coming back on to talk Moon Knight episode 3.
Oh, see?
Aaron
Yeah.
Sini?
Yeah.
I like that guy.
He's pretty cool.
You know?
He's going to want to argue with me, probably. 'Cause that's
He's got
what
some
he's
bad
doing.
takes. He's got some bad takes, but, you know.
He does have bad takes. He does.
But, yeah,
But
exciting stuff.
I'm excited to have him back on. But anyway, until next week, everyone. Excelsior.
To the moon, Knight.